Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to show you one brilliant game of two Soviet grandmasters, Anatoly Karpov versus Garry Kasparov. In this game, excuse me, this was the game of World Championship 1985, and in this game Garry Kasparov was playing with the black pieces and Anatoly Karpov was playing with the white pieces. So let's get started. The game started with e4, c5, my favorite and the one and only Sicilian defense. What an attacking approach! What an attacking approach by Garry Kasparov. Then knight to f3 and e6 opens the dark squared bishop, the line for the dark squared bishop, and opens a new diagonal for the queen. d4 offers to trade the more important central d4 pawn for the c5 pawn in exchange for more control of the center and quick development. C takes d4, black, two central pawns versus one central pawn for white. Knight takes d4, recaptures the pawn and activated the knight in return for having one central pawn. Knight to c6 challenges the knight on d4 and controls the e5 square. Knight to b5 threatens an unpleasant check on d6 square. d6 prevents the white knight from coming into the d6 square and controls the e5 and c5 squares. e5 and the c5 square. Yeah, so then c4 takes space in the center, supports the b5 knight and controls the d5 square. Then knight to f6 develops the knight towards the center and attacks the e4 pawn and controls the d5 square. Knight 1 to c3. So knight 1 to c3 develops the knight towards the center, controls the d5 square and supports the b5 knight. Then I think in this position the best move is to play a6, but let's see what happens. Yes, Garry Kasparov played a6, kicking away the knight from the active post. Then knight to a3 retreats the knight to a square where it supports the c4 pawn and may be rerouted back to the center via controlling the c2, excuse me, c2 square. d5 this threatens to win a pawn by kicking away a key defender. C takes d5. Taking that pawn looks good. It wins material after the trades are complete. E takes d5. Recaptured that piece. Then e takes d5. Knight to b4. And this can win the material after the follow-up trades. Bishop to e2. Bishop to c5 first developed his bishop, but overlooked an opportunity to take this free pawn, and then he castled. And oh, excuse me, Anatoly Karpov also castled on the king side, and Garry Kasparov castled on the king side. Bishop to f3, a solid defense that protects the pawn nicely. Bishop to f5, there was only black develops the bishop and attacks the center. Bishop to g5, looks like they overlooked a chance to centralize the knight, so it controls more squares that allows them the opportunity to take the open file with the rook. And so after here, then here, and in the open file there will be the rook, and that's it. Then rook to e8. The rook is on the open file and can now control more square across the board. Queen to d2. This misses out on the chance to centralize a knight so it can control more square. Same thing that he has missed in the early move. Okay, b5, an interesting move. This set up the threat to take an open file with a rook. Yeah, you can see the idea. So let's go back to the position, and then yeah, so b5, then rook a to d1. But I think the good move was to play the rook on c1 because it was an open file. Then knight to d3. This misses out an opportunity to connect the rooks. Then knight a to b1. h6, attacking the bishop. A bishop to h4, b4, attacking the knight. Knight to a4, bishop to d6, bishop to g3, rook to c8. This open files give the rook a sweet view of the whole chessboard. Then b3, g5, bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, g3. Clever move because now the bishop can go back to this square, so it becomes a fianchettoed bishop. Knight to d7, bishop to g2. I thought this was a good move, fianchettoing the bishop, but chess.com is showing that it's a mistake. Okay, now I understand. They failed to notice the chance to offer an equal trade of piece, like the knight can go back to this square and offering a trade of this piece. This is an octopus knight. When a knight is on this central square of the board, it is called an octopus knight because it is controlling many squares. That's why. So by playing knight to b2, they can trade the knights. Trade an octopus knight with a trade an octopus knight. Yeah. So now a3 was wait a second. Then queen to f6. This queen to f6, a3, a5, defending the pawn. Then a takes b4, a takes b4, queen to a2. A solid move. Then bishop to g6, d6, d6, g4, queen to d2, king to g7. That defends this pawn. That defends this h6 pawn. Hmm. Takes the free pawn. F takes g4. Not bad, but not brilliant. Queen to d4 check. King to h1. Knight to f6. This knight is taking center stage and controlling more of the board. Rook to f4. Knight to e4. Then queen takes d3. A sharp move. Queen to f2 check. A discovered attack. A discovered attack? Oh, I understood. Yeah, so if he takes, then the queen is gone. So now, rook x f2, rook takes f2, rook takes f2. What? He gives a free queen? Oh no. Now Garry Kasparov is winning this game. Let's see what happens next. Rook f2 d2, like pinning this bishop. Queen to e3, unpinning the queen, unpinning the bishop, sorry. Rook takes, rook takes d3. Then, can you find the brilliant move? Yes, it's rook to c1. Ignoring the threat on the queen, and if, like, he takes the queen, then I'm showing you the moves on the board. Wait a second. If he takes the queen, then we take, blocks the blocks the check. We can take here. We can take this rook. He will take. We will take the pawn, and rook is the best endgame piece. So not a problem. And we have got a passer. Not a passer, sorry. Like their pawn is doubled. So they can't win this game easily. And we have got a passed pawn on the b4 square. So yeah, we are on rook c1 move, then knight to b2, knight to b2, queen to f2. Yeah, queen to f2. Actually, checkmate is coming. Can you see the checkmate? Knight to d2, rook takes d1 check. If like the if he doesn't takes means if Garry Kasparov doesn't takes the took that rook, so he can play rook to e2, which threatens a checkmate by taking the bishop. So the knight recaptures the rook by giving a threat on the queen. Now the checkmate threat continues, but Anatoly Karpov resigns. Rate this game out of 10 in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.